Hello everybody, my name is Michael Arredondo and this is my presentation regarding the water sources in my El Paso community. So without further ado, let's get started. So El Paso's water supply comes primarily from groundwater aquifers such as the Hioco Bolson or the Masaya Bolson aquifers, the Rio Grande River, desalination, which basically means the plants convert the groundwater into potable water, and purification with the use of recycled wastewater. El Paso Water manages its annual supply of about 130,000 to 140,000 acre feet, covering the entire city's population for water usage and any water needed. The majority and predominant source of water in El Paso is from the groundwater, specifically the Hioco Bolson, as the Hioco Bolson provides roughly about 40% of El Paso's entire water supply. Throughout the years, El Paso has implemented many strategies in order to conserve the water, including diversification, aquifer recharge, enhanced water purification. Due to these implementations made, El Paso aims to ensure a stable water supply for future generations. El Paso has been known to have safe, clean drinking water that meets and exceeds the federal and state standards for water quality. Water in El Paso is regularly tested by El Paso Water. Some contaminants that are of concern might include that the water might include arsenic, nitrate, fluoride, or infectious byproducts. Many of these contaminants in question can be caused by natural sources, such as agriculture or the process of making the water itself. Contaminants that have been identified to be over the recommended threshold for El Paso's water is the occurrence of arsenic and disinfection byproducts, which also known as THMs. El Paso Water aims to fix these issues by upgrading treatment plants, upgrading filter systems, shutting down wells with high contaminant levels, regular testing, and flushing the system in order to reduce the buildup of these byproducts. To minimize the risk of water contamination found in El Paso, I could use certified water filters that will help remove specific contaminant, especially arsenic and the byproducts. Staying informed and educated on the matter by looking at reports by official websites such as El Paso Water, I could avoid drinking water from private wells, as the private wells might not have been regularly tested. And I could report water quality in terms of taste, odor, and discoloration. The three largest water users in El Paso are the domestic residential households, the Fort Bliss military base, and El Paso Electric. The domestic residential household uses roughly about 43,000 acres feet per year. The Fort Bliss military base uses roughly 3,500 to 4,000 acre feet per year. El Paso Electric uses roughly about 7,000 to 8,000 acre feet per year, depending on the water demand. The other 7 key players in this include the hospitals, medical centers, schools, universities, hotels, tourism-related businesses, city parks, recreational areas, commercial businesses such as restaurants, and of course agriculture. El Paso has maintained a stable balance between water demand and water supply with the use of implemented methods such as desalination, groundwater, the Rio Grande, etc. With the use of these methods, El Paso often meets the high demand in water usage. El Paso is projected to face increased water demand due to many factors, including an increased number of population growth and climate change. However, in order to meet these demands, El Paso plans to expand reclaimed water usage, advanced purification, aquifer storage, and recovery. El Paso continues to aim to ensure that water supply, roughly 10 to 25 years from now, that they will be met for the increased water demand. After acquiring the data that I have presented to you currently, I can confidently say that I am very optimistic about El Paso's current water status, as El Paso is continuously finding new innovative ways in order to conserve the water sources, even though El Paso is in a location of drought and water scarcity. I could also say that I am very confident that the El Paso community will still exist and will continue to grow in the next 10 to 25 years because El Paso Water has been implementing long-term planning in order to make sure that clean water is shared among every individual in the city. Long-term plans include that of aquifer storage, advanced purification, conservative programs, and many others. The major concerns that I found while researching my community was the reliance on the ground of the Rio Grande, occasional contaminant spikes, rising water demand due to population growth, and aging infrastructure in parts of El Paso. However, despite that, the major positive findings that I found during my research that I identified was that El Paso is one of the greatest leaders in conservation and innovation. El Paso has the largest desalination plant in North America currently. And the El Paso community they're educated and they support smart water use. And of course, investments in reclaimed and purified water. Overall, El Paso's water supply is reliable and stable thanks to the continuous innovation plans that El Paso plans to bring to the table. And one of these quotes that I found really interesting and awesome from the El Paso Water 2023 Strategic Plan summary stated that El Paso's water supply is one of the most diversified and drought resilient in the country, but its long-term reliability depends on the continued investment, innovation, and public conservation. So thank you so much for listening to my presentation. I hope you have a wonderful day.